What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Only One KDB, and I'm back with another video. In today's video, we got 10 WWE stars who had heat with the Undertaker. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when I drop another banger. We about to get to the video. We about to see who hated the Undertaker or who had heat with the Undertaker. Let's get to the video. Make sure y'all like the video because it helps me get into the algorithm. We about to get to the video. Make sure y'all smash that like button for me, please. But let's get it. No more talking. Let's get it.
During his 30-year WWE career, The Undertaker frequently acted as the supposed conscience of the locker room.
Okay.
A respected veteran who led by example and whose intimidating presence...
Can I tell y'all something, bro? The Undertaker was my favorite wrestler growing up, but I used to be terrified of him, bro. Every time he used to come out, it used to creep me out, bro. He used to have that long ass coat on with that big ass hat. He used to walk slow like a motherfucker. As soon as he get to the ring, he take his hat off and he roll his goddamn out. I used to be terrified of that shit when I was a kid. I ain't bullshit. But yeah, shout out to the Undertaker, man.
Keep the guys and gals in line on the road. Mark Calaway was not a man you wanted to get heat with. And yet, as history has shown us, the dead man's fearsome rep didn't stop some performers from raising his ire. It typically didn't end well for those poor souls. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are 10 WWE stars who had heat with The Undertaker.
Let's get it.
Join us. Number 10.
I thought the first man was joining us. I was about to say, who the hell is that?
Shawn Michaels. The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels will forever be linked thanks to their classic matches at back-to-back WrestleManias. They are close friends on great terms these days, but that wasn't always the case. It was only because of Shawn's personality change after he became a born-again Christian that the two mended fences. Because during the Heartbreak Kid's first WWE run, he was an absolute prick. He's admitted as much plenty of times himself, noting that he was not an easy person to deal with during those fast-living days. Michaels ruffled a lot of feathers in the WWE locker room during the mid to late 90s, including the Phenoms. As one of the locker room leaders, Taker had a front row seat to Shawn's selfish and self-destructive behavior, and he didn't have a lot of time for it. Things came to a head backstage at WrestleMania 14, where, rumor has it, Mark Calaway let Michaels know that he was going to put Steve Austin over the right way in their world title headliner by silently taping his fists in front of Shawn. The implied threat was recognized, and the champ did the job for Stone Cold, no questions asked. Number 9, Vince Russo. As polarizing a figure as the wrestling business has ever seen, Vince Russo has both his staunch defenders and a long list of detractors. One of the architects behind the massively successful Attitude Era, Russo's car crash TV-style writing in the late 90s made WWE must-see television to millions of fans. As one of WWE's top stars, The Undertaker was right in the thick of storylines and had Russo involved with his creative direction. Taker underwent quite the transformation during this period, emerging as the leader of the satanic Ministry of Darkness stable. Because he was
Ministry of Darkness, man. I remember that shit like it was yesterday. I'm lying. I wasn't even born yet. But anyway, I heard about it though. It was a fun time. I heard there was a lot of dark shit going on and a lot of lines that was crossed that you can't cross in today's world, in today's time. But I'm pretty sure it was a good time. God damn, Rock, you let him kick you like that? His nose bleeding, it looked like.
Such a big marketable star, Russo would always try and involve Taker in some way. According to Vinnie Rue, this led to some heat between the pair, as Mark Calaway was feeling more than a little banged up and resented always being asked to do something physical. Russo didn't actually hear this from The Undertaker directly, but rather from Terry Taylor, and he only heard about it after he left the Fed for WCW. Russo, in his defense, said that he always asked The Undertaker how he was feeling and claims that Taker himself always said that he was good to go. I think he was working it, bro. Number 8, The Jackal. The WWE locker room was a very different culture back in the 90s. Often described as being a Shark Tank-like environment, it was ultra-competitive and not everybody would always get along. Still, it paid to be in the good graces of a select few, including The Undertaker and Bradshaw. Unfortunately for Don Callis, aka The Jackal, he wasn't on good terms with either. According to Matt Hardy, more on him a bit later, Callis endured a torrid time backstage because he didn't see eye to eye with the duo, in large part due to his own outspoken nature. Now, Hardy didn't elaborate too much or give any details on how Taker acted towards Callis, but there was definitely heat there. In his own autobiography, Matt alluded to the part he played in Don's torment, including a rib where he and brother Jeff broke toothpicks off the door handle of Callis' rental car. This was at the behest of Bradshaw, but whether Taker had any part in it is unknown. In the end, the heat on Callis was so bad that he ended up being released, presumably for his own good. Number 7, John Laurinaitis. Seriously, is there anyone who worked for WWE?
This might sound dumb, but back in the day, I thought John Laurinaitis was the president. I know. And I ain't talking about the president of the WWE, I'm talking about the president of the United States. I don't know why I thought that's, bro. I don't know, man. I was just a crazy thinking ass kid. I don't know why I thought that.
Last 20 or so years that doesn't have a negative thing to say about John Laurinaitis.
He look like a president, don't he? Don't he look like president material? Like he could just run for president right now and win. Like he could definitely win it over Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Like those two incompetent guys to lose to this guy. He just looked like he just know what he's talking about.
To be fair to The Undertaker, he had a good reason for being upset with the former talent relations chief. Their heat stemmed from Taker's Armageddon 2005 Hell in a Cell match with Randy Orton. The match itself was fine, but it came out afterwards that Randy's father, Bob Orton Jr., had tested positive for hepatitis C. Worse still, Laurinaitis had already known about the results, and yet Cowboy Bob was still allowed to bleed all over the dead man. Oops. Taker found out because the doctor who administered the tests was a WWE-affiliated mutual friend, and needless to say...
So you can catch it if, like, somebody bleed on you? I didn't know that. Learn something new every day.
Hit the roof and immediately demanded answers from Johnny Ace. Laurinaitis actually had to fly to a house show and personally talk things out with Calloway face to face. Turns out Orton Jr. had contracted the disease when he was still a teenager, but had forgotten about it since, outside of a few weeks where he was sick, and didn't feel any of the effects of the disease and had never passed it on to another wrestler. Nevertheless, Cowboy Bob was let go soon after.
Damn.
Number 6, Duke Drosy. Admit it, this wasn't a name you were expecting to hear today, was it? The WWE career of Duke the Dumpster Drosy was relatively short and mostly uneventful. An undercard act during a down period in the company's business, the Trash Man gimmick was never going to have longevity or enable Duke to ascend to a headline spot. While trying to get over and improve his position on the bill, Drosy, in his own words, had a series of matches with Jean-Pierre Lafitte on non-televised events where they made a point to go out and steal the show. According to Drosy, he would be confronted by the likes of Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker when he got backstage. He said, would complain that they were unable to follow what he and Pierre had just done and that they should tone it down. Rather than listen to their...
They told my man to tone it down? Like, just imagine somebody walking up to you like, man, tone it down, man. We don't want you to go out there and be spectacular because we don't know if we can follow that up. That sounds crazy to me. I ain't gonna lie, bro. What y'all would have did if Undertaker and Shawn would have took... I mean, I guess you gotta respect them because they like the big dogs of the company. But like, God, and you just like a... You know what I'm saying? You an undercard. Like, you just... You know what I'm saying? You ain't that popular in the company yet, but... I don't know, man. I don't know if I would have listened. I ain't gonna lie. I would have went against the grain a little bit. Like, man, I'm trying to steal the show. I'm trying to be the guy here. I ain't about to let y'all tell me turn it down. I'm finna go all out.
Drosy would instead suggest that they should step up their game. Upon reflection, he conceded that his back chat got him heat and likely worked against him in the long run. Gee, you think? So if you've ever wondered why the Dumpster didn't main event WrestleMania, and I know I have, that's why. Number 5, Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy was going through some stuff towards the end of 2005. He had lost his girlfriend after discovering her affair with his supposedly good friend, was fired, rehired, feuded with the unfaithful couple, then lost the feud and was shifted over to SmackDown. At the 2005 Survivor Series, Hardy was supposed to take a chokeslam as part of The Undertaker's return at the end of the pay-per-view. Fed up with his lot and not feeling like being chokeslammed that night, Matt opted to instead simply powder out the ring and retreat to the back. When Taker reviewed the footage at the SmackDown TV taping a few days later, JBL pointed out the sidestep and Taker chewed Hardy out for it in front of everyone, asking him if he thought he was better than everybody else who had been instructed to take a hiding. Matt kept his head down and took the ass chewing, but his punishment was not over. For the next few months, he pretty much did job after job for others and was even booked to take Viscera's walrus move in the 2006 Royal Rumble as part of his punishment. Hardy eventually sat down with Taker and they hashed things out, after which the penance was considered paid. Number 4,
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills.
Hello?
Should you become stranded,
The Big Show.
Where
Paul White was
is
snapped
the
up by
Big Show?
WWE in early 1999, moving from WCW for a big fat contract and the promise of main event superstardom and matches with the likes of Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Big Show was brought in a big way, but sadly quickly demonstrated that he was perhaps not quite ready for the spot he was being primed for. According to Calloway, the Giant also treated other people like they were less than him, which rubbed Taker the wrong way. White has spoken about how he would get the crooked finger, with the Phenom calling him over for a verbal beatdown, whether it was about how he spoke to a technician or something he did in the ring that wasn't up to standard. Taker was doing this because he understood the 7-footer's potential and wanted him to be great, but admitted it took a while and a lot of stern talking tos before the advice sunk in and White started to put it together in and out of the ring. White has since credited The Undertaker's tutelage for helping him become the performer he then turned into, but things were tense between them for a bit there. Number 3, Mabel. Another super heavyweight that felt The Undertaker's wrath was Nelson Frazier, aka Mabel. After winning the 1995 King of the Ring tournament, Mabel received a major push, which included a SummerSlam main event showdown with world champion Diesel. But Frazier's massive size, coupled with his inexperience, made him dangerously reckless. Unfortunately for the former man on a mission, one of the people he accidentally hurt was The Undertaker. While delivering a series of leg drops onto the dead man, Mabel neglected to properly work the move and dropped his gargantuan frame right on Calloway's face instead. The upshot was that Taker suffered a broken orbital bone, which is why he wore that Phantom of the Opera style face mask toward the end of '95. Naturally, Calloway wasn't exactly happy with having his face caved in, and Mabel got some heat backstage, which was exacerbated by him also injuring Big Daddy Cool by dropping his full weight on his back. Taker won the resulting feud with Mabel, and not long after, Frazier was given his marching orders. When he came back years later, Calloway requested he become a member of the Ministry of Darkness so that he
Hey, that's Big Daddy V. Yep, I was just about to say it. That's Big Daddy V.
Actually have to wrestle him again. Number 2, Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho had one of the most memorable debuts in WWE history, interrupting The Rock on Raw and getting into a promo duel with the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. A week later, Y2J continued to antagonize the main event crew when he interrupted The Undertaker and The Big Show. Jericho chastised the team for taking up so much television time, referred to Taker as the personification of boredom as opposed to the personification of evil, and accused them of turning the show into Raw is Snore. This would be all well and good.
Dang, he said
Taker not just rambled on incoherently for an age, delivering a promo that was, in fact, very, very boring. Jericho was supposed to be the heel, but fans actually agreed with his assessment of the segment, making the so-called Unholy Alliance look bad in the process. When he got backstage, Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin let him know that he might not want to call one of the biggest stars in the company, as well as a locker room leader, boring in front of millions of fans. Number 1, Diamond Dallas Page. Wait, so you telling me that Diamond Dallas Page had backstage heat when he came over to WWE for the Invasion? I mean, I had my suspicions when he was given a stalker character and was then routinely pummeled by The Undertaker and Kane and was then pinned by The Undertaker's then wife Sarah and then got a self-help guru gimmick designed to take the piss out of his personality, but, wow, I am shocked. Aside from committing the cardinal sin of being a former WCW star, DDP also apparently made a major error when, according to Disco Inferno, he went to the American Badass before one of their matches with a script for what he wanted to do in the ring. Per Disco, Taker took the piece of paper, scrunched it up into a ball, and promptly threw it in the bin. Taker was also miffed when Page didn't bump and feed quickly enough for his comeback during a house show bout.
Bro, you threw your paper in the trash can? How you feel about that, bro? Well, we about to get out of here. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe if y'all enjoyed that reaction video. This was crazy, man. This was interesting. I ain't know all these superstars had heat with The Undertaker, but find out something new every day. We about to get out of here. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Like the video. If y'all enjoyed, make sure y'all like the video because it helped me get in the algorithm. Share it with your friends. Do all that good stuff, man. Leave a comment down below. And I'm out of here, bruh.